start out, we'll just draw a line on the back of all of our smaller squares, and then you'll take larger one right sides up, and these are going to go right sides down right in the two corners here. And I'm going to go and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on both sides of this drawn line all the way down. Here's what that ends up looking like. And I'm just going to give this a quick press. Now I'm going to line up my ruler right on my drawn line, and then I'm going to cut this into 2 pieces so that it looks like this. Then, one at a time, I'm just going to take these triangle units and then just press them like this. I'm going to give them a little bit of starch just so they'll lay flatter for me. Now we're going to take these other 2 and they're just going to go in these corners right here. So just like that, and then now I'm taking both of these to the sewing machine and I'm sewing a 1/4 inch on both sides of both of these drawn lines. That's what they end up looking like. And we're just going to give them a little press. All right, and now I'm ready to cut them. So I want to show you just a tiny tip before we move on to the pressing and the trimming up. I don't understand the logic behind this, but this is the way it always ends up working out for me. And when I do it any differently, I end up with just a little smudge in my flying geese unit. So when I send these through the machine, I'm using a scant 1/4 inch, which just means that it's just a little hair inside the 1/4 inch line. When I send it through, I'm sending it through this way. So it goes into my machine like this. It goes in for it on this side, and then when I do this side, I send it through the machine the same way, but just on this side of the drawn line. I never send it through this way. When I do, I'm going to show you what it looks like when I do. All right, so this is the way a flying geese unit should look like, with that nice little straight edge right there. When I send it through the other way, I end up with this. And it happens to me every single time, and you can see where there's just a little tiny flaw. I still would use this, I'm not gonna toss it, but I just have to get creative or fudge my seam allowance when I sew this into the next piece. So like I said, I wouldn't toss it, but it does just weaken my seam allowance just a little bit. So just a tiny helpful tip. So we'll just line up the ruler on the diagonal line that we drew, cut, and then do the same thing for this one. And we just push these out and press. I'm going to give these one more spray of starch because I like everything super crisp. And when I'm ironing, I'm not, doing this because I don't want to warp any of them. I'm just going up and down with my iron. So now I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to trim off these little dog ears, they're called. And I'm going to do that for all of them. And that is how you make flying geese 4 at a time.